pinpoint what has been fundamental to your success? We see lots of foundations come and go, driven by big names and little names, and you've stayed consistent and growing on top of all of that.
True. And you've just hit the nail on the head with that word, consistency. And that's all we've done. People who have followed our work, who know our work, know that we have been consistent throughout for the past 12 years. When we started, people thought we're doing it for the cameras. People thought we're doing it for the wrong reasons. People said when you do, there's this saying about something, when you do, let the right hand not see what the left, why do you have to show us? The reality is that we are exposed every day to the living conditions of our people. That's not a secret. It's not hidden. A grandmother that's staying in Lusikisiki, that's staying in a mud house that's falling apart. The only way to get us access to see what's happening with that grandmother is through you taking a picture while you are there with that grandmother, and you tweet it or you send it directly to us. Once we see it, we will go and see that family. But to also motivate the next person who wants to do what we'll do, we'll show you the before and after, and we'll show you how we've changed that person's life. So we've been consistent with what we do. The first day, I remember, we when you speak about our journey, we started at Hillbrow, and many people will know, the friends and family will join us, and we just queued up homeless people in Hillbrow. We queued them up in a park next to Parktown, gave them food, took a database of who they are, tried to get them in the job market. But we've evolved over those years. Today, as we celebrate 12 years, in the past 3 years, we've built almost 600 houses for people that I don't know, that I've never met. During COVID, fed or supply food relief rather to over 10,000 families. So our work speaks for itself for the past 12 years.
Hold it there. Eva Chipa is coming through with the headline news, and then we'll come back on the other side of this.
Thanks, Bridget. In your news making headlines for this hour, Deputy President Paul Mashatile has expressed his satisfaction with the eThekwini Metro's plan to deal with the city's extensive water and sewage problems. The Durban Metro is Mashatile's first stop after being appointed as head of a task team on water challenges in the country. In other news, the MK Party has called for the immediate resignation of the IEC Commissioner Janet Love for what it says is her blatant bias. The party has warned that if Love does not exit the Commission in the next 7 days, it reserves the right to pursue all available avenues, including approaching the courts. And lastly, the Israeli Defense Minister has told his US counterpart that Israel will respond appropriately if Iran directly attacks it. I'll be back at 3 with more news. For SFM News, I'm Eva Chipa.
Bridget Masinga on SAFM.
We're hanging out with the entrepreneur and passionate philanthropist Colin Mashawana in studio today. 12 years of the Colin Mashawana Foundation, and they've done incredible work. As we wrap it up in our final moments, I mean, you were saying we were reflecting on the 12 years and the incredible sort of impact that you've had and the life-changing impact that you've had in communities. To build homes is no easy feat. You know, to feeding people is one thing. Building homes is a completely different thing. And then building homes also for members of society that have been marginalized, that have been neglected, and who are in need of special attention and nuanced homes. I don't even know how you do it. And then you've built them in the hundreds.
It's fulfilling, I tell you now. It's a highly fulfilling. There is no symbol of dignity that is higher than a home, or that is greater than owning your own home. And if you think about it, our parents, our grandparents, all they've ever wanted or worked hard for was to ensure we have a safe structure or safe roof over our heads. So you can imagine there are people who are 80 years old, 90 years old, that are about to reach end of life without achieving that goal or that dream. And they are staying in an unsafe, dilapidated structure. And we meet them. And when we meet them, we don't make a promise, we make a commitment that within 6 weeks, they'll have a new home. And we don't call it a house, we call it a home. And we keep our commitment. So between 6 and 8 weeks, we'll give a new home, fully furnished, tiles, ceiling, water, electricity. And the ripple effect that comes out of that, we buy them more years to live, because now they've got something more worthy to live for. But what it does, it gives them better health. And also the grandchildren that live there, they don't have much of mental and social illness issues now. They can go and concentrate at school. Those that are looking for jobs can go from a safe home and go and look for jobs and so on. So it really starts with your upbringing. And upbringing, first step, it's a home.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, we've fast run out of time, but I know that you've got your big annual fundraiser coming up, with the... By the way, is that an event per invite only? That event of yours.
It's tight, I'll tell you now. It's tight. It's tight.
Who must we know to put in a good word at that event?
Just buy a brick. Just buy a brick. If you buy a brick, we'll open the door for you.
Is that how you guys use that to raise money? Buy bricks, buy tables?
Buy bricks, buy building material, buy a table if you can, if you're corporate, buy a seat. The reality, if you look at what we've done, is that for 10 years we were a self-funded organization, and it was important that we follow that route so that we can create a trust, and we can ensure that there's a brand, and also there's tangible results that you can see. So, guys, we don't have any more money anymore. The pockets are dry. It's been 10 years. We've built so many homes. We've drilled so many boreholes. You can go to Amanskral. We've drilled boreholes. Go to Kiani. We've drilled boreholes, and we continue to look after families. We continue to look after centers. But guys, we need South Africans to also come on board and do whatever little that they can do. Whether it's a bag of cement, whether it doesn't have to be money. Whether it's a door frame, whether it's a door, however way. We are excited now with this event that sponsors have started coming. We have other people that are coming through, and that's what's happening. So we celebrate 12 years on Saturday the 20th. 800 people gathered at the Sandton Convention Center, and these people are people that are willing to serve. Some are doing it through their own structures, through their own churches. Some are doing it in government. They're government officials that have got good hearts that are serving people in their own rights. So we are gathering, celebrating our milestone, but also raising funds for us to do more programs. And I think you'll see after elections, because we must allow now the elections for people to do what they have to do. But after elections, we're going on the ground to build more houses, drill more boreholes, and the money is really going to come from that event and other sponsors that would have come on board.
I love it. Guys, congratulations. Colin, you're doing incredible work, but like I said, also by extension of the fact that you involve your family, your brother Cecil's here. If you follow them on social media, then you know that they lead from the front in as far as the Colin Mashawana Foundation is concerned. 20th of April. So if you're still trying to clamor and get yourself a table, I don't know if there'll be a table for you to buy at this particular juncture, because also the guest speakers that are at the event read like the laundry list of who's who in the political and social dispensation of this country. But it's a great event, and that's the thing. You can do good while still having a little bit of fun, while still rubbing shoulders with some people that you want to Instagram and do things with, and still use it as an opportunity for you if you're in business and if you've got your own endeavors. 800 people that maybe it might take you forever to get them to take your call, and there they'll be in Sandton. Guys, thank you so much for coming through. It's been a pleasure meeting you. That was Colin Mashawana. Let's take a quick break here as we allow Lady Zamar to come and settle in.
Channel your inner adventurer on Top Travel this Saturday night at 8:30 on S3 as Fez and Anesu are in Limpopo for tea with a rooibos-loving hippo named Jessica. Jumping off Graskop Gorge in Mpumalanga, Fez screams from the top all the way to the bottom. But standing at God's window will leave anyone speechless. That's Top Travel this Saturday night at 8:30. Repeat Sunday at 1 p.m. on S3.
Mamelodi Sundowns Sundowns ladies believe they belong at the top and they want the vital 3 points. But Lindalani ladies are on a mission to shock Banyana Ba style. This is the Hollywood Bet Super League. Witness the queens of the beautiful game. Mamelodi Sundowns Ladies FC versus Lindalani Ladies FC. The Sunday 14 April at 11 a.m. Live on SABC Sport on DTT Channel 4. Also available on SABC Plus and SABCSport.com. Hashtag We Love It Here. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport. For the love of the game.
Bridget Masinga on SAFM.
Last night, I lost my pride as I texted you, come over, baby. But this time, I promise I won't cry. Cause you do me dirty anyway. And you took me there. You took what I gave. You took what I decided was the holy grail. You took what I gave, innocent and ashamed. Now you're living free inside my head. You gotta work for it, and 9 to 5, take me out every night. You gotta work for it, like a 9 to 5, vacations all the time. You gotta work for it, and 9 to 5, save flowers all the time. You gotta work for it, it's a 9 to 5, we'll fight it out at night. It's okay, cause this way, I told you that I won't be staying. It's your play, my disdain. Your words, my ways inside my brain. And you took me there. You took what I gave. You took what I decided was the holy grail. You took what I gave, innocent and ashamed. Now you're living free inside my head. You gotta work for it, and 9 to 5, take me out every night. You gotta work for it, like a 9 to 5, vacations all the time. You gotta work for it, and 9 to 5, save flowers all the time. You gotta work for it, it's a 9 to 5, we'll fight it out at night.
Coming through, Lady Zama with Work It, and this is from her new album called Rainbow. Not released as yet, I'm told, the album, but the track is out. Yes, the track is out. Fantastic. How are you?
I'm well, thanks, and how are you?
I'm fantastic. Cannot complain. You look fresh and refreshed, and like life has been good.
Oh, yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot. All right. Tell us about Work It.
So Work For It is basically a song that almost addresses in a very indirect way the whole talking stage situationship thing that happened a lot during, like, it happens a lot, but for me, I experienced it the first time in COVID.
The talking stage?
Yeah, I'd never been on a talking stage with anyone before.
What do you mean?
No, I get shelled, but it's never like, oh, let's first get to know each other. Oh, okay. It's always like, I want to be with you.
So people want to jump straight into, let me wife you.
Yeah.
I see.
So I had never gone through that whole, let's first talk. Let me see who you are thing.
Okay.
Had I known that it would be that horrible, I would have never engaged in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Hi, Lady Zama.
It kind of felt like I was trying to prove myself to a stranger. It was weird.
But are you not at that stage? Like, at the talking stage, is it not essentially auditioning for a relationship?
Nobody should be auditioning. I just realized, like, when I went through it, I'm like, nobody should be auditioning for a relationship, okay? If a person sees you, they talk to you like normally, not let's get into a talking stage. You guys might bump into each other a couple of times, but the whole idea that you must be auditioning to be someone's partner is ludicrous. It's absolutely ludicrous for me. So I created the song because of that.
Then let me ask you this. I know we're on a personal, we're jumping straight into the personal. So then let me ask you this. Okay, so you don't believe that you should be auditioning to be in a relationship, but are you the marrying type, the relationshiping type?
I'm the I want to be a wife type.
Okay.
So my issue is that husbands are rare. Like, you get into a relationship and you like completely all wifey, and you realize that this person just doesn't deserve all this energy and all this care from you.
Right.
You know? So just bounce. Yeah.
Okay. I never would have respected it. You know? I saw a post on Instagram just the other day when someone says, they were like, I'm not getting into relationships just to get into relationships. I'm auditioning a future husband. And ladies and I was like, no, let's not audition. Just
nah, guys, situationships, talking stages, that stuff is for like high school. Let's leave it in high school. When you matriculate, that's the last time you should ever have a talking stage.
Yeah.
And once you get into like, I'm 19, look, decide. Either you're not dating until you figured out your life, or you are being in a relationship for the purpose of marriage. You know, you're getting to know a person in a relationship for the purpose to get married.
That's the distinction. Okay, I understand that. We're getting to know each other in the relationship.
Yes.
I understand that. Now, tell me, Rainbow, it's not out yet.
No.
But you've obviously been working. When was the last album?
2019.
It's been a break. Well, COVID happened.
Very long time.
It's been a long time. So putting together this album, or the process of it, what was that like? Because a lot of life has been lived. People will say, coming out of COVID, it felt like we all had 10 lives just in 2020 alone.
That's crazy, because I felt like I didn't have a life. Like, it felt like the world hit pause for me.
Really?
It felt like a couple of years were stolen from me. Like, they just went by with no activity. Sure, we have the activities that like happen, like, life and death and all that. But I didn't have a life because I was recovering from a lot of operations in 2020, 2021. I was trying to figure out who I was in 2022. So it kind of felt like my life hit pause, So it's almost like even those years that I had birthdays, it's like they never happened.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So it's for me, it was like a stolen time. So congratulations to those of you guys who got long lives now. I feel like mine was stolen.
Okay. I mean, listen, I guess it was a lot of life, because from what you're just saying, in the sense, Guti, a lot was happening from a health perspective.
Yeah.
That takes its own toll. And obviously you weren't performing at the time as well for a lot of things. And then when do you start then conceptualizing all of that? When did it... Because some people might go, the material even comes from those moments. So for you, did you first have to have that break? That very distinct break, and then get back into the mind and the emotion of then creating?
I mean, to be fair, if we're being honest, artists are human beings. We have feelings, and even though a lot of people don't think so, but we're people that go through the normal cycles of life. And I think for me, from 2019, I just wanted to not be part of the industry anymore.
Right.
I was kind of done with it, and I just wanted to, step away from it. So it took me a while, not because of the break that I had to take because of COVID, but it was more like, am I really ready to get back into this? Do I want to? Am I equipped now to, take all the criticism, all the harsh stuff that could be said? Am I ready? So it took me a while to get there. But the concept of this album started in 2021-ish, where we just kind of created stuff, and it just wasn't working. And I think as an artist, the reason why that process was important for me is because I'm a writer and a creative, I need to write and create for me to almost sift out the dirt, to be like, this is not working for me. I'm not this person, because I think a lot of identity got lost for me. You know, a lot happened. So my identity kind of just went down the drain. So it was a whole lot of music making, but nothing was worthy of release because it was just a bunch of emotions and it wasn't making any kind of sense.
I see.
Yeah.
So am I understanding or interpreting correct that perhaps at that period music almost became like a tool vehicle for you to just rant?
Yeah.
And so it was, you know, like you just write from one thought to the next.
Yes.
It's not coherent,
Yes.
so to speak.
If people could hear the stuff I made during that time, it was hectic.
I can imagine. You must keep those archives.
I will.
I always encourage creatives, whether you're a painter, whether you're a singer, to keep those archives, the cutting room floor stuff.
Yeah.
Because when your story is told, you want even that stuff from, it's like having Lady of Zamar tell us about her darkest moments herself in the moment. Let's take a quick break and then we'll come back and continue our conversation.
Molweni babukeli be-Kids Newsroom, igama lam ngumhlonto Buhle Kelepa, izwakazi yasemampondomiseni, and we cannot wait to see you on SABC2 right here where you belong every single Monday at 4:30. See you there.
University of Johannesburg and University of the Western Cape have a mammoth task to illustrate what a pitch distinction looks like. This is the Hollywood Bet Super League. Witness the varsity derby, UJ Ladies FC versus UWC Ladies FC, this Sunday 14 April at 3 p.m. Live on SABC Sport on DTT Channel 4. Also available on SABC Plus and SABCSport.com. Hashtag We Love It Here. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport. For the love of the game.
The Chill Zone with Bertha Charuma.
It's always sometimes people that you least expect. Because, there's a certain type that you can expect. This one is a swindler. Then there's a certain type that really looks like a gentleman. And they give you all the ringing bells that are beautiful. And you become so consumed, so overwhelmed, so dizzy from the affection. You overlook all the red flags.
Okay, Ms. B, what do you think a swindler is going to look like? Because that's exactly what they look like. They look like gentlemen, successful businessmen. They will look like perfect guy. It's actually quite funny. Like, they'll never look thuggish or they're not going to look like a criminal. They'll definitely be looking very smooth. They'll look like Thabo Bester.
You're making me laugh.
Bertha Charuma, Fridays 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. You are listening to The Full Circle.
We are catching up with award-winning vocalist, and of course she needs no introduction, Lady Zamar, and she's carved her name into the South African dance music scene for the last couple of years now, and had quite the meteoric rise with her debut album, and she's back. There's a brand new album that's yet to be released, Rainbow. We played you the first track from it, Work On It. When it comes to choosing your first track, by the way, I'm always intrigued as to, how an artist comes to deciding which track becomes the first radio play track of a new album.
I don't know, to be honest. I don't know how it's chosen in the sense of the process, but I think you kind of... Each song has an identity, and depending on the season, depending on the timing, the part of the year, what your goal is, you kind of just pick the song that fits that chapter.
Yeah.
So if maybe the album is coming out much later in the year, I would have chosen something different.
I see.
But for now, it's like, let's talk about this.
I love it. And have you ever had because then the album comes out, and then audiophiles always choose their own thing, and if they super fans, like someone who just sent us a message to say you are their favorite artist ever, if they super fans, then when they listen to all the albums, they always choose, and the super fans will always go, track number 7 of that album, that was a banger. Do those moments ever have an artist retrospectively sitting, oh man, maybe I should have gone with track number 7 as, you know, the first track out?
The funny thing about my fans is that every time they choose a song that they love, that's the song I love. You know, that's the song I would have said, that's the song. And then obviously there's like so many things in the background, and there's the numbers, and there's the marketing, and da-da-da-da. And they will choose something different based on, like I said, the times, the seasons, and, you know, the algorithms and everything. But a lot of the times, the songs that my fans gravitate to the most will be the songs that I enjoyed making the most, songs I really enjoyed the message of, songs that most of the time the people in charge would probably look down on and be like, it's not that deep, you know? And, you know, the music is a very interesting thing for me. Because a lot of times we want to believe that we have control.
Yeah.
We really want to believe that. We want to believe that we know the landscape, we know how things are going to pan out. But music is such a internal thing, you know, for everyone. It touches people a certain way. And there usually will be that one song that has a universal impact on people. If you're not listening from the ears of passion and truly being aware of who you are outside of how the music impacts you, you know, you will miss that. You know, so a lot of times you have that kind of like you're trying to tip the scale so that you guess the right songs. But I found that my fans really do a great job in picking the best songs, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to explore, because you kind of said it twice now, but I'm running out of time, and I think that's a deeper conversation. Because you kind of alluded, you know, you just said now, a lot of times the people in charge, and I'm like, no, now when we talk about the people in charge, essentially in my mind, you are the person in charge.
Yeah, I am in charge of the creative stuff.
Must be in charge of all the stuff.
It's a great idea to have.
Yeah.
But I think with every artist, you work with a team, and we have so much respect for our teams, you know, because they do so much for us, and they put aside their lives to make sure that your dream comes true. So there is a lot of respect that you have for them. And because of that, you will give them the space that they need to also exercise their own knowledge and how they would like to do things, or based on how they do things as a culture.
Yeah.
You know, so it's nice to believe that as an artist you do this thing by yourself, but you really don't. You have so many people that back you every single day, and you have to honor them by also allowing them an expression, because it's not like they don't get it right. Sometimes they will pick the right song, you know. They really will.
She's shading you in the room. She's shading you in the room. All right, so in our final moments, when does Rainbow come out, or must I not put the pressure on you?
Oh no, it comes out next week Friday.
Oh, okay,
actually,
fantastic.
On the 19th of April, yes.
Now, music has changed quite drastically.
Yeah.
In the last, and in the music industry in the last 5 years specifically, even the way that, you know, artists release albums and records, the kind of marketing completely turned upside down in the era of social media and digital platforms. What are you doing differently now? And also, I mean, from 2019 to now, also we've had like an unstoppable penetration of Amapiano.
Yeah.
So how are you and the team gearing yourself up to sort of present this differently, you know, considering just how the landscape has just changed?
I mean, we're more, first of all, as artists, we are now the first, you could say it's first responders, but we're the first people who have to sell the product.
Yeah.
You know, back then, 5 years, prior to 5 years ago, I mean, prior to now, you know, before, you put out music and you promoted that you've put out the music. You didn't have to engage with your own music. Now you have to engage with your own music. You need to sell the product by kind of creating something that will make people want to be part of it. Because now it's not just about a song, it's about how does that song fit into our culture right now, party culture, how does it fit into work culture. You know, it's no longer just about loving the music, it's about how do I make the song popular so that people attach certain things happening to it right now. TikTok is a huge thing where a lot of people want to be on TikTok challenges. Instagram is also another place where you can create music content, as opposed to just putting out a music video and you're done.
Yeah.
Now you got to actually engage with your music. So that is challenging. Because when you're done with an album as an artist, you really just want to leave it alone. Just like, I'm done, But you can't do that anymore. You have to really engage, and so even the way you write music will change because now you have to engage with it. So you're going to be thinking about, how do I engage? Not if I believe the message or not, but how do I engage with it? What kind of content do I create for it? And I think if you're a very aware artist, you become... it reveals a lot of things about your own social skills, and your own willingness to be part of society. Because artists, we're burdened with the need to remove ourselves from society. We want to observe society, and we create from the observation of society. But now to be part of it and to also observe becomes a bit of a challenge.
It's an interesting point for us to leave it at, and we'll pick it up and explore it with another artist on a different day. But it is an interesting point that you bring up, and I think anybody listening to our conversation, particularly if you're in the business of creating music, Lady Zamar has definitely given you something to think about as you move forward. I appreciate you for coming through for Full Access. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much
for being in
me.
studio with us. That album is out next week. You heard. It's dropping from myself and my team. It's always an honor and a privilege. We get to do it again with you next Monday. Be safe on the roads, and inshallah, God willing, we get to do it again.
Top stories at 3. eThekwini creates plans to deal with those cities' water problems, and Israel vows to respond if Iran directly attacks. Good afternoon. I'm Eva Chipa. Deputy President